Hello, today I will show you how to use Command Central 9.7 to remotely bootstrap new managed installations. Let's see how we can add an installation on a remote machine using pull method. The best way to do it is to log on to that remote machine and open the browser on that remote machine, point to the Command Central server. This is the requirement that that box has to have access to Command Central server over HTTP or HTTPS. And that's why the easiest way is just to open Command Central Web UI from that machine. Obviously, you have to log in as administrative user or any other user that has permissions to add new installations. Then you pick an environment where to add the installation, click plus as usual, and provide the host name of the machine that you are currently logged on. So that would be server 6company.com. And click next. We select install platform manager remotely. We still need to select the operating system of that node that we currently logged on to. Will be Windows. We can choose an installation directory, repository for the version, and distribution ports. I will select webmethod 96 US location as the master repository, choose complete distribution, and pick some non-default ports. And the method of installation will be pull. It's important that repository is either master or image, and it's the correct version of the platform manager that I like to install. If I select a master repository, then Command Central needs to have access to Empower, as I already explained before, and it will automatically select an image if it's available or generate one if it's not available. If that Command Central does not have access to Empower, then you can only use an image. The node itself does not have to have access to Empower, only the Command Central. Okay, let's click Next, leave the defaults, give it a display name and an alias. Click Next, and here's the last confirmation page, which is quite different from the previous methods. And let's click on these instructions and see what is important here. So the prerequisites are pretty much the same as for push installation, with slight difference that this box has to have access to the Command Central over HTTP or HTTPS. That's a new requirement because it's a pull, not push. You must have Java 7 installed. That's the same requirement as for the push or local installation for that matter. And you must have a tool that can download installer over HTTP or HTTPS. And that could be any tool of your choice. For Windows box, it could be just a browser, or any box with a GUI, it could be a browser. If it's a Linux machine, it could be either curl or wget or any other tool. Here are the sample instructions how you can automate or semi-automate that process. I'm just going to use the simplest interactive way. I will click on that link to download the installer, and the important part that the installer has to be already generated. If this is the very first time you're trying to add an installation for that version, for that platform, for that distribution, the installer is not going to be ready until you finish the wizard, and the wizard kicks off the job that generates the image if it's not available, and then generates the installer. If this is not the first time, this is what I'm doing. The installer already generated, so clicking on that link will start the download right away. So don't be confused. If this is the very first time, that link is going to return 404 not found, and you have to click OK, click Finish, and then wait for the jobs to be completed. Here are the instructions that are important. You download the installer zip, you have to unzip it, and you have to run the installer. Let me copy all that and put it into a text file. Okay, let me finish the wizard. Let's see the job, and we see that the image already generated, so the job is done right away. It didn't take any time. The installer is being generated, usually takes under a minute. Okay, so the job to create an installer completed, and you see the notification message, but the node will not come online automatically because we didn't run the installer yet. So let's go back to our instructions and execute them. I'm going to use the URL for the browser, paste it in the address bar, and that will kick off the download right away because I already accessed the web UI and already authenticated myself as administrator. If this is the first time you log in to Command Central from that browser window, then you will provide your credentials. So the download completes. You can open that zip file directly and you can extract everything into a local folder. Okay, it's done. Now, if this is on a machine that can use all the defaults, default installation directory, default ports, you can simply double click the installer and execute it. It will run the installation and that will be it. It's very easy, just point and click. I'm installing using non-default ports. I need to switch to the download directory and go to that folder. I see my installation files in here, and all I need to do is to run the installer command with the installation directory of my choice and the ports, just like I specified during the add installation wizard. So I'll paste this in and I run it. This kicks off the installer in the scripted mode with the parameters that I specified, and it's gonna take some time to install everything, so let's just let it go and we'll check back later. The installation has completed and we see that everything was installed successfully. It took about 10 minutes and SPM automatically started. So if we go back to our UI, this node in the web UI is not going to go automatically in the online status. It will get into online at backend, but the web UI is not polling for the status updates automatically. So we have to help it and refresh. It's still not able to connect because it takes sometimes for SPM to start up. So let's give it a little bit of time and try again. Okay, now the SPM is up and let's check what's on it. And we were installing with methods 9.6 version and we see that it's exactly 9.6 and it's also a complete distribution, includes all the plugins, update manager and command line tools. Thank you for watching.